Hydrarch or Hydrosere succession. Okay, you start with your introduction. Okay, say biological succession. The initial surface is probably a pond or whatever. Say something here. So it starts with an aquatic system. It could be a shallow lake. It could be a larger inland water body. It could also be a enclosed sea along the coast. It could be the initial stage of a lagoon. Any of this, it's an aquatic system. A shallow lake, a larger inland water body. It could be enclosed sea along the coast. It could be the initial stages of a lagoon. It starts with this. Okay. इसके बाद क्या होता है? There is a submerged stage. It has a submerged stage. In submerged stage, there are aquatic life forms. So mainly fishes, aquatic organisms. It could be submerged plants. You can know one example if you know about what is Utricularia. No, lotus is not submerged. Lotus bahar aa jata hai. Okay, submerged में क्या होगा? You will have a water body. You have got water here. जो plant है, it is under the water. It is under the water. Lotus तो बाहर आता है ना? And of course, you do have fishes. Some microorganisms here. You can have snails. Okay, submerged plants. We can have planktons, floating microorganisms. They are floating microorganisms. Okay, ये पहला स्टेज है. Okay, shallow water तो पूरे में sunlight आ रहा है ना? It's a shallow. It's not a very deep one. Aquatic life form, and remember, it's a shallow. So yes, sunlight definitely is there in the photic zone. Then we will have the floating stage. Now the plants will start coming out. There is a floating stage. Floating stage where we have some sediments on the lake, okay, which can support plants roots. Okay, they can also be floating plants, or you can also have floating plants. So floating plants like azolla. Okay, support roots यहाँ पर lotus. We also have hydrilla. इसमें क्या होता है? This is the plant. Some sediments are here. Thin sediments. ये पानी है. You can have plants here and the roots go down. Or you can also have plants that float. The roots are here. And the rest, of course, are organisms, fishes. They all are present here. Okay? This is the floating stage. Then we have swamp stage. The next stage is the swamps. Swamp stage. इसमें क्या है? The shallow lakes gradually fills up. It is still very less water, but it is wet and swampy. Okay, this is the lake. अब इसमें sedimentation हो रहा है. Sedimentation is happening here. Okay, and you can have some amount of water. So These are the layers of sediments which have formed. Layers have formed. You can have some trees here. Something has grown from here. You can have trees, some bushes here. Okay, there can be floaters. Okay, we can have bushes and some trees along with floaters. Along with floaters supported in the swamps. So ये जो layers हैं, these layers have witnessed siltation. They have witnessed siltation. The next stage is the meadow stage. Meadow stage. This is also a swamp, but more of grasses and meadow bushes. The lake has almost filled up. So this was the lake. अब ये पूरा sedimentation में this has got filled up. It has got filled up, and this can have some plants, some bushes. You'll have lot of grasses also. Swamp is drying. There are grasses and bushes. Okay? And the final stage, and in this case, there is no free water. इसमें तो फिर भी थोड़ा बहुत water है ना. ये वाला जो upper layer है, okay, this layer continues to be some amount of water. This is some amount of water. इसमें अब कोई water नहीं है. There is no free water here. Okay, so you'll have lot of herbs. You'll have lot of shrubs. And the final is the woodland. Woodland and the forest. So the trees invade. Initially shorter trees and taller ones. So this used to be the lake. This lake is entirely filled up now, solid ground, and there are now proper trees, bushes, trees, the woodland. Very easy answers. एक बार सुन लिया आपने. Okay, once you have listened to the conversation, you will have no problem. The problem arises अगर आपने पहले कभी सुना नहीं है what the terms are and what they mean. But once you have heard these terms, you shouldn't have any problem. Mangroves are essentially the climax community itself. They're not the swamp stage. Mangroves are climax communities. Mangroves don't happen on lakes. So mangroves are themselves primary climax. Third stage क्या है? Is the floating stage. The third stage is the floating stage.